So I'm in Sydney, Australia at 10 a.m. And we've got people in the States. What would it be? Is it 7 o'clock at night? Deb, what time is it where you are? Is it 7 p.m.? Sorry, you're muted.
Yes, it's 7.
Great. Good.
It's
Yep. 7 p.m. yesterday.
Yes.
Isn't that odd and wonderful?
Yeah, I know, it's so weird.
All right. Well, we might do a little go around and you can just say where you are in the world. And if you'd like to say what your interest is in meditative drawing, then or what brought you here, then I'd be glad to hear that if you want to share. Let's see. Bobbie, would you like to say hello, just where you are in the world and a brief hello? Bobbie, are you there? Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Bobbie Hayes. I'm in Eureka, California, who owns a digital clock. And I first met Jean a year or two ago.
Yeah.
Very close to the beginning of COVID. My group, North Redwoods Book Arts Guild, and I enjoyed it so much. I'm back.
Yes, yeah. I think that was last June or July, July. And yes, the Book Arts Guild in California. So that was lovely. Met a whole bunch of people there. And Elizabeth, was that where I met you as well?
It was through, yes, our little local book arts group
Okay.
here in Eugene. Yeah.
That's right. Emerald Book and Paper.
Emerald Book and Paper Arts.
That's
yes.
right. Yep, in Oregon. Yes, that was about the same time. Yep, good, lovely. And Deb, do you want to say hello?
Yeah, I'm in Raleigh, North Carolina, which is growing way too fast for me. I never wanted to live in a big city. Anyway, I'm very happy to see some young faces. Usually it's people my age doing this.
Well, on that topic, yes. Jennifer, would you like to say where you are in the world and what brings you here?
Sure, I'm right down the road from Deb. I'm in Chapel Hill, North Carolina, which is also growing way too fast. And my friend who couldn't make it this week, Sherry, recommended this to me. I don't know how she found it though.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm glad to have you. That's just fine. Yeah. And let's see. Maureen, do you want to say a quick hello?
Hi, I'm Maureen. I'm from Sydney. It's 10 o'clock in the morning here and heating up. It's going to be in Celsius about 30 degrees, which is getting up to your 90s.
Yes.
I haven't met Jean in person. She knows my husband through workshops. I myself am a retired special needs, special education teacher, and I've used mandalas and mazes with the children I work with to tune them in before the start of lessons. So I'm interested in seeing how we go with these.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, got you. Yeah. Meena, do you want to say hello? Just where you are in the world?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I'm from Adelaide, so it's 9:35 in the morning right now, and yes, it is going to be a hot day here too. I met Jean on LinkedIn, I think, and I was very interested in what she did in terms of meditation and art, and those are two things that really interest me because I like to meditate and I dabble in art, so I am an artist, and I've just completed my diploma in art therapy. So I'm really interested in how, meditative drawing can help me personally, as a business owner, and also how I can help other people with it.
Yep. I understand. Yep. Nancy, do you want to say a quick hello?
Sure. I've known you since high school, and so it goes back a long time. I usually live in Massachusetts. Currently, I'm up in Maine working, and I'm an RN and have dealt with a lot of stuff and have had some post-traumatic stress. And so I'm always interested in learning something new to help manage.
Hmm.
And it's also, I have a fair number of family members and acquaintances and friends who could use stuff. So it's learning some and being able to give some feedback.
Yep. Yep.
So,
Terrific. Yep. Yes, I've certainly had my share of family members who've had trauma, and you wish you could get all sorts of healing for them.
yes, I know it
Here.
only works as well as they will work.
Yes. Yep, exactly. Suyen, you want to say a hello? Say where you are and.
No.
Oh, you're still muted, please. Yeah. We want to hear you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Suyen. I currently live in Charlotte, North Carolina. I just moved here from New York State. And Jean, thank you so much for inviting me to participate in this workshop. I did one previously with you, and I'm looking forward to learning some more techniques.
Great, great, welcome, yeah. And Megan, would you like to say hello? I think, and then we'll do Yara, yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Megan. I'm in Oakland, California. So it's just after 4 o'clock here for us on a Thursday. And I've done mindfulness practices for a long time, and I'm just really excited to learn how this technique can be added to the arsenal of strategies I use for myself and others.
I used to have some friends who lived on the top of the hill in Oakland, and I'd walk around there whenever I visited. So yes, I've got a picture in my head, and the movie theater at the bottom of the hill. I remember walking down.
Oh, yeah, I know that one. I work at a zoo, so I'm at a zoo right now. So I'm at the top.
Okay. Yes, my son's in biology, so I'm always curious about zoos and aquariums, but yeah. And Yara, do you want to say hello?
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. I'm located out of Chicago, Illinois. It's about 6 p.m. here. So you and I met networking, which is great. And we've been connected ever since. Very, very pleasant. And so I'm here for supportive, but also just informational. I love meditation, but haven't been cultivating it as a practice. And so learning that drawing and meditation goes together, I'm like, what? Yeah. So I'm here and I am appreciative. Thank you.
Great. Well, glad everyone is here. It's just wonderful to have such a great brains trust and feedback from all different perspectives. So it's really wonderful. All right, well, we will get going. Okay, so what we're doing is we're breathing in to the count of 3. You can just see the little square, and holding the breath for the count of 3, breathing out for the count of 3, holding the breath for the count of 3. So we're just sort of going around in a square with that breath rhythm. And yeah, it's a practice that's used by both yoga practitioners, martial arts people, and Navy SEALs before going into combat. It's just a very quick way of slowing the heart rate and lowering the stress level and lowering your blood pressure. So it's a really simple exercise you can use any time when you need to focus or you just want to calm down and clear your head. So that's that part of it. And the drawing will just mimic the drawing a square that goes along with that. So I'll just bring us along to here, and we'll go back to. Okay, so just one piece of paper. This isn't to show anybody. It's just for the exercise. So don't worry about doing it neat. It can be a mess. It doesn't really matter. It's just about giving your brain something to concentrate as you go. So we'll be drawing a square shape like that. And we'll just then be going around and around drawing a square. Okay, we'll get started and just dive in when you're ready, when you feel comfortable. So we'll breathe in, 2, 3. And hold the breath, 2, 3. Breathe out. 2, 3. Hold the breath. 2, 3. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. 2, 3. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. And out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Hold. Out. Hold. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. And out. Hold. Let's stay with it for a little longer. In. Hold. Just gives your brain time to rest. Breathe out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. Breathe out. Hold. Just a few more. Breathe in. Hold. Out. In. Hold. Breathe out. You may be able to take slightly longer breaths. Breathe in. Out. Hold. Breathe in. Hold. And breathe out. There we go. Good. Right. Let's pause that. How was that for you? You're welcome to put notes in chats, or if you want to speak up, just wave at the camera. Nancy, go ahead.
Sorry. I found it actually, it took me a while to get the breathing right. It's sort of, I guess I've been running around so much today. And now what I'm noticing is it just feels a bit slower and a little more chilled. It's also fun design.
Yeah, that's one person gave feedback and for the other drawing that we were doing for breathing, and she said, well, it's not square. And I was like, right, okay, so what if we did a square drawing for square breathing? And I thought, okay, maybe that we should try that and see yeah, how that works. So yeah, honest feedback is genuinely welcome. Anyone else? Elizabeth, how did you find that?
It took me a little bit to get into it as well. I found myself being very concerned with how square my squares were. I finally had to let that go, but
Good, good. Yep, yep. I mean, I'm trying to get it to look nice in the video because everybody's watching, but it really doesn't have to look pretty. If I'm doing it for, 20 people, it kind of needs to look
Yeah.
right. But it doesn't mean that yours has to be neat at all. There's a lot of things in the workshop that are for the process of doing it and for the benefits you get from the doing of it. And the drawing part doesn't matter. But we're not raised with that as an attitude. So it's like, but that's the drawing. It doesn't look right, Is that okay? It really is okay. And this is cheaper than therapy, and it can be a useful process to let go of stress. But yeah, Maureen, what was that like for you?
I find I had to really focus on the breathing. So every time I turned the corner, I wanted to either breathe in or out and not hold. And so I had to keep telling myself, focus, focus.
Yep.
Eventually got the hang of it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is something that keeps you in the present by giving you something sort of to do for your brain to do. But yeah, anyone else want to make a comment? Okay, and I'm going to play the video silently, and then I will be live, just so you know what's going on here. Okay, great, good. Okay, all right, we'll get started. Wonderful. Okay, this one's called Fireworks, and you may have received the worksheet. This is just some samples first of different kinds of meditative drawing, different sorts of patterns that you can make. And over the different sessions, I'll just show you a whole bunch of different artistic prompts that you can play with. And the goal is to give things that are fairly simple to do, that you don't need background art skills, but if you feel like playing with the creative ideas, then you can do that. But the point is to quiet the brain down and have an exercise that allows you to slow the brain down and do something fun and creative at the same time. Okay, so the last page of the worksheet is a template that you can use or not use. That's either way is absolutely fine. And I will get mine template out as well. What I'm doing on the video is just drawing some guidelines. Sometimes if I'm doing lots of really detailed shapes or small dots or lines, then it's nice to have some just pencil guidelines to give me an idea of the big shapes on a page. And then I can just sort of tune out and do the little detailed work during the session and not sort of worry about where I'm putting things. And you can also just draw a few dots or whatever to give yourself a place to begin. And with any of these sessions, you're welcome to follow along what I'm doing in the video. You're also very welcome to take this as just an idea or an inspiration and go off and do something completely different. So really both is fine. So I find that some drawings really resonate with some people and some just sort of don't, or other things come up and they get their own ideas. So feel free to take this in whatever direction you want, or to just stay with exactly what I'm doing and just do that. So both is absolutely fine. These are a bunch of samples of different drawings done to this session. I think I've done this session 6 times and just do a little bit different drawings every time. Okay, all right, we'll just begin. Just dive in. I like to do some rather larger, bolder marks at the beginning, and that sort of gives me a framework for the drawing that sort of anchors a shape. But you do what you like, and we're just focusing on making marks on paper and just being conscious of our breath and just slowing down. And on markers, it's a really good thing to just choose maybe 3 colors at the beginning of a session, so that you're not rechoosing and rechoosing and rechoosing while we're doing the drawing, because it allows your brain to start slowing down from the very beginning. So just choosing maybe 3 colors and just working with that is a really good way to begin. And also with the speed, the video may be faster or slower than what you're doing. That's absolutely okay. Just stay with what's good for you and go with that. This is about your finding techniques that work for you for calming a busy brain, and it doesn't have to match what I'm doing. Yeah, so just start making some marks on paper and working your way around. I'm just working my way around the spiral. And at the beginning of a session, it's useful to just check in and just see how your body's feeling. Sometimes I'm all unsettled. I find it quite hard to focus. I find it hard to sit still or to concentrate. And other times I can just dive in. So doing this can also be a way of just sort of taking your own emotional temperature and just checking what your stress level is like. So I'm just going to slowly work my way around the spiral here. And as you go, every once in a while, just check in and take some deep breaths. You're welcome to make noisy sighs. You can turn your sound off so you can make lots of noise if you want and not be self-conscious. Just working with the color on paper. And giving ourselves a half hour to just draw. Just work your way around the page. And I often find as I slow down, little thoughts pop up. And by slowing down, it often allows your brain to remember things and take a little time to file them away in the right place. If we keep charging along, we never really have time to file away thoughts. So if you've had a busy day, it's a bit like if somebody walks into a office with a whole stack of files and hands them to the filing person, and if you don't get a chance to slow down and just file those bits of information away, you never get to integrate them, and they're not memories you can use. So taking time like this has all sorts of benefits. Okay, yeah. So I've just been using one color and I'm going to be going on to my second color in a minute. You can have your own little variations. And the drawing gives us something to focus on, so our brain has something to do. We can start letting go of all the busyness of the day and just stay with our marks on paper. I think there's rather something lovely about being able to draw with people halfway around the world and just hang out together. And this session's called Fireworks, which I think of as times of celebration or thinking of times that you were out at night and watching fireworks with some friends or family. Some sort of celebration or fun. Yeah, I'm just experimenting with different sizes of marks and different spacings. I found that some very simple drawing techniques, just staying with a few different kinds of marks, using that as sort of a discipline, I end up coming up with all sorts of creative ideas that I wouldn't have if I was playing with many, many different things. And just staying with a few small choices of marks to make, I end up coming up with a lot more creative ideas than I thought I would. Staying with some loops and some lines. I'm just creating a pattern, and everyone's will be different. Elizabeth, did you want to ask something or say something?
Nope, I'm fine.
Okay, fine. Your hand was up or there was a symbol, so fine. Yep. Feel free to speak up if you got a comment or. And the worksheet has a whole bunch of samples of kinds of marks you might make, and you'll come up with your own as well. And every session has some completely different creative prompts that you can play with. And sometimes you might like what you draw, and that's fine, that's great. These are exercises that you can do over and over and over. But they can also be done just for the sort of mental health or quiet your brain down sorts of benefits. And you can just throw away your drawing at the end. It doesn't have to be something that is pretty, or there's no correct way of doing things. So you can also do the drawing just as a process, and it doesn't have to be about the end result. Yeah, I'm just doing lines and working my way around the curve. Yeah, here are some other samples of other drawings that have been done to this particular session. So you can see the variations in marks and colors. And you'll do something different again, which is just fine. Yeah, and then gradually the page is filling up. You'll work at your own pace, so that's just fine. And just notice your shoulders once in a while. Are you hunching them up, or are they relaxed? You can always tense them for a count of 5 and then let them go. Tense your shoulders for a count of 5 and let them go if you realize that you're holding them. And you can take some noisy breaths once in a while. And just stay with your drawing for a little longer. Just giving ourselves this chunk of time just to relax and have some quiet time together. Slow the brain down. I often find that after these sessions, I can be really productive because my brain's had some time to recharge and my energies had some time to recharge. Just calm down the nervous system for a little while. And something pleasing about slowly working around the page, building a pattern. Nothing terribly complex. And I've had people do sessions with a few whiteboard markers because that's what they had, or some colored pencils, or whatever worked for them at the time. And that's all okay. Yeah, so it's coming together. If you wish to share what you've done at the end, it's kind of fun to see all the different variations or different directions people have taken it. And if you don't want to show your work, that's absolutely fine too. And just notice your breathing and keep some deep breaths going. And do your best to just keep your attention with the drawing that you're doing, so your brain has the chance to recharge and calm down. Yeah. Take a few more minutes. Just play. Making marks on paper. Letting the world take care of itself for a little while. You can notice with whatever marker you're using, if you change the pressure with your marker, do you get a different mark? And over time, you get used to what your tools do, how your markers work, different kinds of marks you can make with them. You change the angle or the pressure. Just notice the small differences. So often we're too busy to take notice of those things. You can notice the texture of the paper, what it feels like to make the marks. And I'm just doing some dots to fill in the background. And sometimes with these sessions, you might do 2 smaller drawings rather than 1 big one. And that's up to you. It's really just fine. This is about a process of using drawing to quiet the brain, not worrying about what the results are. Yeah, so this one's been lots of spirals. Yeah, just some finished drawings. And we'll come back together in just a minute. These are a few samples of other meditative drawing sessions that I've done. All right. I'm curious what everyone else has done. I drew along with it as well, so I did a yellow and brown one this time. All right, well, if you want to just wave at the camera and just say your name, then I'll know who would like to just check in. Nancy, go ahead. What was that like for you?
Well, now I'm feeling tired. It's like it's a good thing for me, at least here up in Maine. It's the end of the day. It's gotten dark, and my brain has really slowed down because usually at nighttime my brain is racing 100 miles an hour. So it's definitely been helpful, and this is let's see if I can get it to do it. Sort of the image of
Yeah, yeah,
it
yep,
going
great,
around in circles and dots and having fun.
good.
I'm sorry, my dog is trying to join in on the conversation here.
That's okay. Yeah. Yeah. Often when you do slow down, whatever it is that you're feeling comes up instead of just the busyness. So that makes a lot of sense. Yeah. And I'm glad you're allowed to feel tired. You let that flow up rather than sort of fighting it. So great. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Yeah. Just wave at the camera if you'd like to share. Molly, go ahead. Just unmute yourself if you'd like to say hello.
So muted.
There.
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm out of town, so I'm just observing today. But just watching is downregulated my system wonderfully. I was late and I've been outside working physically, and so to come in and just melt down into the square breathing was wonderful. Thank you.
Great. Yep. Lovely. Thank you, Molly. Yep. Okay. Yara, would you like to share what that was like for you?
I have a difficult time sometimes. I had to be very intentional because I like to have chatter. I like to talk. So I just had to be aware of be quiet, observe what's going on, and color. You're having fun. So I think a lot of self-talking is there. I'm so used to let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. So it's just like my monkey mind was everywhere. But I got into the groove of it and I used different colors. So I was appreciative for the experience.
Great, thanks. Yeah, it's not always comfortable. Yeah, sometimes it's quite uncomfortable to slow down. So yeah, I get it. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. Meena, do you want to share what that was like for you?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the process, and it has kind of helped me focus, and I feel like I'm ready to tackle my day after this relaxing session. So I mean, I wanted to go and use a lot of colors, but it was good to focus on those 3 colors and try and I think it helps you think out of the box to try and create something with just 3 colors when you have those limitations. And that really helped me.
Yep. Great. Yep. Thanks. Yep. Maureen, do you want to share what that was like for you?
For me, I enjoyed the quiet. I enjoyed having your voiceover sort of saying this. It doesn't matter what you're drawing. You're taking away any sort of is it good enough? Any of that. And I found I got into it fairly quickly. And now it's helped me sort of feel, okay, my mind is quiet and I'm ready to work out what I'm going to do with the rest of the day. Yeah, thank you.
Yep, sure. Yep, good. Bobbie, do you want to share what it's like?
I like it. One of the things that I found for myself, I was using different colors, and all of a sudden I didn't like the way something looked, and I went, it doesn't matter. The process is moving your look at my design. Not particularly happy about the paper, but I do feel more quiet about it. I don't have to say, just finish with it and see how you feel. That's a really good thing for me.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I got into this was I had a lot of brain chatter in struggling with post-traumatic stress. And I didn't have the concentration to do sort of what I thought of as serious artwork. And I'm trained, I have a BA in fine art and trained in graphic design, and felt like I had to make something that meant something and was important. And I couldn't do that at that time. And I found it was useful to just make art for the process of making art. And that was something that was pleasurable. And I had to let go of needing an end result and realizing that it was actually okay to make art just for the fun of making art. And we do lots of things for the fun of it, but art often isn't one of those. You know, people play music just for the sake of the joy of playing music. And yeah, it took me a while to realize, hey, this can be a process. I can throw it out at the end. I don't have to make something that matters or is important. It can be just the doing of it. So that was quite a shift that sort of brought me into this. Megan, do you want to share what that was like for you?
Yeah, it's really restful. I really appreciated the opportunity to do it. I think your prompts were also really helpful. They were soothing as we went through it. So it was great to hear your voice. And yeah, I feel significantly more relaxed. So thank you.
Oh, well, good. Yeah. Suyen, do you want to share?
Your voice being very soothing, right? And encouraging us, like our own personal cheerleader, just encouraging us to just be in flow and go in the moment. And I really enjoy that so much. Instead of worrying about I'm doing this correctly or which pen to use, just go with it and just do it. And the critical part of my mind just turned off for a bit. I just went with it. So I was very happy with that.
Yeah. Okay, good. Yeah. Let's see, Elizabeth, do you want to speak up?
Yeah, all of the above. And what I noticed was and appreciated was the rhythm that I kind of got into with it. And it happened surprisingly a little more quickly than I thought it would. So that was nice.
Yep, great. Thank you. Yep. Let's see. Have I missed anyone? Deb, do you want to check in or say anything? Add anything? You're on mute still.
Yeah, I too liked your voice and also your reassurance that nothing mattered. that was really helpful. But I'm much more comfortable with the art side of this than the breathing side. I just haven't spent much time doing that. So that's what I have to pay attention to.
Yep. Yeah. And people come to this for many different reasons, and that's just fine. Yeah. Maureen, did you want to add anything?
I was agreeing with I find I enjoy doing art. I do art for fun. But the breathing side, as I said earlier on, even with the introduction, I found it difficult to get into the breathing. So I did with the patterning here, eventually get into sort of, breathing and calming my body down as well as my mind. So I found that really useful. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks. Hey, I appreciate everybody's feedback. Is there anyone else I've missed? Meena, would you like to add anything?
I think it's the breathing, like everyone has mentioned, that like when I was doing the box breathing, it was difficult to, I would breathe in and breathe out, but when I had to stop, my lines would stop too, because I would have to remember that I have to stop breathing. I mean, it's easier for me to box breathe otherwise if I'm not drawing, but that took a lot of focus out of me. And then eventually, I think, once I keep practicing, you get into the rhythm. So it takes a while to kind of focus the breathing and the art together, which I find really fascinating. And I think even when I was doing this patterning and trying to breathe and draw, I realized that when I slowed my brain down, my creativity flowed better than when I was not breathing.
Yeah. Sometimes the drawing helps me stay in the present because it cuts the brain chatter because I have to do something. But then sometimes, I'll stop drawing and I'll just do the breathing if there's just too much going on in my head, and all I can manage is to do the breathing. So, you know, I think you can play with this in all different ways for, you know, whatever it is that works for you. Yeah. Okay, well, great. Well, thank you very much for coming. And yeah, I'll just send you a quick survey afterwards by email, and would love the feedback, but really appreciate all your taking part, and hope to see you next week. Terrific. Okay, thanks very much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.